Well, when the community engages in mobilizing any kind of resource, be it financial or human or even things, I think that would be community philanthropy. When the community participates and invests its own resources. And it's within the ownership of the community, that would be community philanthropy. Our safety net lies within the institution of the family and the community. The state is virtually non-existent. And at such times, if the community doesn't come together and support those who don't have means to eat or for day-to-day sustenance, then they're going to fall through the safety net. So one of the things that we are doing now is how can we mobilize within communities this kind of a safety net by engaging local people, local resource, and local support, financial or in kind. Unless development aid or people who control development aid look into their own structures and revise and reinvent themselves, is causing more harm than good. Because what it does is takes away our sense of self-reliance and our ability to do things for ourselves. Assume that a very minor fraction of development aid goes down to the people. And it's not just about resource, it's about those of us who are in this position, because when I worked personally, I have this experience. If we do not have the ability to go with the kind of humility and sensitivity that's needed, then I think we already create a barrier that makes actual participation and actual understanding and a good equal conversation impossible. So if we don't have that, how are we going to impact on the other person's life in a meaningful way? We don't even have the basis. So it's like more like you are fulfilling a target and reaching the goal you anticipate. You don't even know if that goal is the one that's most respectful, that's most conducive, and that will generate sustainability in days to come. Whoever holds power, that group or that person has the maximum responsibility to make that shift. But of course, then the tug and pull is that those of us who are at the receiving end, if we are empowered and if we are honest and if we are more authentic within ourselves, we can argue and bend the resource that is there to suit our purposes rather than fulfilling a project goal. And sometimes in that you have to compromise the resources that would come to you. I mean, if you make a stand and say, these are the conditions, I can accept this support, otherwise I won't, then you sometimes have to be prepared to forego that support. Those who give money are just as responsible as those who receive money to build that all-around accountability. Who do we need to be accountable to? Is it only to our donors? Is it to our constituencies? But most it is to ourselves. We think our life equals money, but it doesn't. And I think this whole focus on making more money and thinking that life equals money, I think this is this is a bigger pandemic in our world today. Power lies now in connecting these dots of good work that we've all done, which could empower us further, because the force we are contending with in the world today, be it nations, be it our rulers, be it powers or perceived powers who hold economic strengths, I think that's completely lopsided. And we have not yet been able to collectively challenge any of these institutions, because we still depend on them for resources. And I think the less we could depend on them, the more they would be asking, like, what do you want? And how can we support you to do what you are doing? Then I think we'd come to some bargaining terms. And I think joining the dots of these good work, because there are plenty of those in the world, I think that's also critically important. Keep connecting those dots and stand up whenever you can, individually and collectively, for what's right. Our heart will tell us what is right and what is not, if we listen deeply enough. And I think in our communities also, that's what we need to do first. Listen deeply, listen with them, and be with them.